Hey guys, I'm Liz. This is my Claymore V600 Plus camping fan. This is one heck of an amazing fan for camping, and you can check out how it performs in all these different tests and experiments that I put it through on the screen here, and hopefully that gives you all the info you need on this. And now let's start with the unboxing. I picked up this Claymore from Amazon over a year ago because now that I'm out and about testing gear more often, it gets extremely hot in the tropics where I live. Here are some shots of what it looks like brand new from Amazon just in case you want to check out what it looks like. Now I'm going to unbox it and show you what I got out of the box. So basically, you'll get the fan itself, these detachable legs if you want to stand it up, and also a cable for recharging the fan. I noticed that the Claymore comes partially charged, so there were 2 of 4 battery lights here, or about half a charge, so you can kind of use it out of the box. After draining it, now we've got to charge it since this is a rechargeable fan. At the back, you'll find this flap here, which says USB-C. Peel open the flap, and behind you'll find this USB-C port. Just grab the provided USB-C cable that came with the fan, plug the regular USB port into any outlet you have at home, and then plug the other end, the USB-C end, into the back of the fan. When you do so, notice this little light right next to the port that will turn on, which shows that the fan is charging. Now, how long does this Claymore take to charge? It says it'll take about 6.5 hours, and this was super accurate for me, give or take only about 5 minutes each time. Once this fan is done charging, that little light at the back will turn off. There won't be a light at all, like this. That's when you know that it's done charging and you can take it out. This fan has a 7,800 milliampere hour capacity, so that's why the charging takes a little longer than you might expect. But don't worry, it works even when it's plugged in, so you can still use it anytime you need to as long as the outlet is somewhat close to you. How many different modes does this Claymore have? The button to the left shows the number of modes, and we've got 4 different fan modes here. Hit the button once for the ultra low mode, once more for the low mode, another time for the medium mode, another time for the high mode, and hit it again if you want to turn it off. Now let's test for the different speeds of each different mode using this mini anemometer. I'm going to turn the fan on to the first ultra low mode, and when I hold the anemometer right in front of the fan, I got a reading of about 2.6 meters or 8.5 feet per second. On the next low fan mode, I got a reading of 3.1 meters or 10.2 feet per second. For the medium fan mode, I would say that the average reading here is about 3.8 meters or 12.5 feet per second. And for the last high fan mode, I'd say the average reading is about 4.2 meters or 13.8 feet per second. Here's a table showing you all the different fan speeds that you can expect from this Claymore, and I think this is a nice range of fan speed to be able to pick from. Take note here that Claymore does market this fan as having a max fan speed of 5.8 meters per second, but unfortunately, that's not what I got with mine. I also wanted to measure the max airflow distance that this Claymore can give us, so I had to sit in a room with no wind at all. I put the anemometer right up close to the fan, and I slowly increased the distance from the fan. I kept moving back, and even further away. Then I located the exact spot where the meter hit a 0 meters per second reading. This is the spot right here. The blades of the meter are still turning, but it's not turning fast enough to register a wind speed reading. The distance from the fan here came in at a whopping 156 inches, which is 13 feet or almost 4 meters. And that's the Claymore fan way over there. I did the exact same thing with all the other modes, and here's a table showing you all my results. The medium speed had a max airflow distance of 142 inches, which is 11.8 feet or 3.6 meters. The low speed had a max distance of 112 inches, which is 9.3 feet or 2.8 meters. And the ultra low speed had a max distance of 87 inches, 7.3 feet or 2.2 meters. When it comes to tent camping, the tent size I normally pick is a 6-person tent. I'm in a Coleman Sundome 6 now, and I'll put the dimensions of this tent on the screen here. Then I put the Claymore at one end of the tent, and I'm going to use this windmill to see how far the airflow is. It starts spinning really quickly when it's close to the fan, and as I slowly back away from it, it gets slower and slower as the wind speed dies off. I'm surprised to find that I'm able to get to the other end of the tent there, and it's still spinning. Notice though that it's spinning so slowly now at the edge of the tent, so a 6-person tent is probably the biggest tent I'd recommend using this Claymore in. You can still feel a little bit of a draft here right at the other end, but it's not strong at all. And to test for the noise level, I got this separate sound meter. Here's the base sound level with the fan turned off, and the reading comes in at about 41.5 decibels. On the ultra low speed, the sound meter goes up to an average of 46.3 decibels. Here's the meter on the low speed, coming in at an average of 51.7 decibels. Now on the medium speed, it comes in at about 57 decibels. And the high speed comes in at about 60 decibels. I'll show you exactly how it sounds like later, so stick around for that. Another question you may have here is this: what are the run times on each of the different fan modes? The only info that I managed to get is that it'll run for 7 to 32 hours. It says so here on the box, and the 32-hour timing is the max runtime on the ultra low mode. On the high mode, instead of 7 hours, mine came in a little bit short at just 6 hours and 15 minutes. And for the ultra low mode, instead of 32 hours, I got 31.5 hours, so again a little bit short, but otherwise pretty accurate. And since the medium and low modes weren't given, here's all the info that you need to know anyway. And that's it. Everything you need to know on the run times of this fan is right here in this table. Next up, we have the sleep timer test. This button to the right here, which has a clock icon on it, shows the sleep timer. There are 4 different options for you. The first press shuts the fan off in 1 hour. The second press, 2 hours. The third press, 3 hours. Fourth press, 4 hours, and the last press turns the sleep timer off. How accurate is this sleep timer though? Of course, I tested it, and here are the results that I got. I used a stopwatch here to test exactly how long each of the timer modes ran for before turning off, and I found the sleep timer to be very accurate, give or take only about 1 second or so. So that's pretty good. Yet another feature of this Claymore is the battery level indicator. This only shows up when you first turn on the fan, and it's basically the sleep timer acting as battery level lights. 3 lights like what I have now means it has about 3/4 of a charge left. The battery lights will go off after about 5 seconds and doesn't stay on the whole time, so if you want to check on it say an hour later, you gotta turn off the fan and turn it on again. That's one kind of minor con to the battery lights. If you're actually charging this fan up though, it does work as well. Just turn on the fan to see how much battery it's charged up. Mine's currently charging from 50% to 75% because the third light's blinking. Another con I noticed is that the lights can be a little bit bright at night, especially if you're sensitive to light and when it's pitch dark around you. But this is not a super big con. I just covered up the lights with basically anything. It's a pretty easy fix. The head doesn't rotate a lot. It goes from straight to just slightly angled up like this. This is only about a 45-degree rotation. I think more of a rotation would be better. The legs of this fan are somewhat adjustable. The fan head is very top heavy, so it's best to spread the legs as wide as possible. You can adjust it a little bit here and there, but not too much, or it'll just topple over. At the back of the fan, notice this icon at the back. It's not the most user-friendly, so it's hard to tell what it means, but right now I have it unlocked, so I can remove the legs just by pulling on it. It's not the most user-friendly, and sometimes it does take a little bit of strength to get it on and off. To put the legs back, I just make sure to align the edge of that icon with this notch here, and there are also grooves along the adjustable legs and on the fan attachment, so you gotta align those when fitting them in. After that, turning it anti-clockwise and having that notch align with the other edge locks it, and it can't be pulled out now. That's all you need to know about the adjustable legs, and I'll remove them right now to show you another feature, and that's the tripod thread here. This is a 1/4 of an inch tripod thread, which is a standard tripod thread. So I could mount it on my own external tripod here. It fits very nicely, and I was able to get the fan much further off the ground for way more versatility and adjustability. My yellow lab here really likes this feature. The Claymore also has this handle at the back, which you can use to pick it up and carry it around. You can also loop a carabiner around it and hook it up to the top of the tent, like so. You can actually also try and tilt the head of the fan to angle it towards one part of the tent. And I found that it actually rotates around at the top on its own, giving both halves of the tent some airflow. Although, of course, this is just the wind speed pushing it around and it's very irregular. As for waterproofing, I couldn't find an IP rating on this Claymore, so I decided to rain test it myself. And after about 30 minutes of moderate rain, I'll put some shots of the rain testing on the screen here for you to check out. It actually held up fine. Just to be clear, the blades aren't moving this slowly, it's just that the fans don't really turn up well on video for some strange reason. The different fan modes still work great, the sleep timer button still works great too, but when I pulled off the port at the back, there was some water inside, as I suspected there would be. It's not a super well sealed off port, but if it gets a little bit wet, it'll hold up no problem. For the materials of this Claymore, the fan head and blades are made of plastic, while the handle and adjustable legs are made of metal. Overall, it has a very nice, high quality and sleek appearance there. As for weight, this Claymore came in at about 20.56 ounces, which is about 583 grams if you need that conversion. I really liked being able to disassemble the legs from the fan for way easier packing. The legs itself came in at just 9 inches or about 23 centimeters long. The size of the face of the fan came in at about 7 1/4 by 7 3/4 inches in diameter, which is also about 18.5 by 20 centimeters. The depth of the fan came in at about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters, and that's the pack size of this Claymore. Oh, and the fan blades come in at about 6 inches in diameter, which is about 15 centimeters. The Claymore has a warranty period of 1 year. I found this in the user guide online, and I'll have it linked down in the description below if you want to check it out. As for pros, I think one of the biggest ones is being able to remove the safety cage, which are these grill-like things over here, which protect your fingers from getting sliced up by the blades. Here's exactly how to do that. Hold the face of the fan like this, and using your thumbs, just turn the safety cage anti-clockwise just a little bit, and you can actually hear it clicking when you do so. This means that the safety cage has unlocked, and you can just take it off. This will give you easy access to the blades for cleaning. Just be careful though, the fan still turns on even without the safety cage, and you don't want accidents to happen. Now, to get the safety cage back on, there are these grooves on the cage and notches on the fan itself that help secure the cage in place. But you don't really need to align these to get the cage back on. Just position the cage over the blades with the logo facing right side up. Then press down with your hand gently, turn it a little bit, until you feel the cage sliding into the fan. That means these notches and grooves have been aligned. Now to lock the cage in place, use your thumbs again and turn it clockwise just a little bit. It'll click into place, you can actually hear it click, and you won't be able to pull the cage out anymore. One last check for you to do here is this. At the bottom here, you'll notice an arrow on the cage and the groove on the fan. When these are aligned, that means your cage is mounted correctly, and that's how you do it. The next pro is that you can pick from 4 different fan speeds, which range from 2.6 meters to 4.2 meters per second. That's a very decent number of fan speeds, and the fan is surprisingly quiet on each of them. Claymore markets this fan as having minimum noise coming in at just 15 decibels, and my testing shows that this is a little bit understated, but otherwise pretty accurate, I guess. The first column shows the different fan modes, the second column shows the sound meter reading including the surrounding noise, and the third column shows the reading without the surroundings. Here's what I felt. I can't hear it at all on the ultra low and low modes, so that's fantastic for sleeping. The medium is just a slight hum, and the high speed isn't as noisy as other fans. If you're wondering what they actually sound like, I'll let you hear all the different modes right now. And although it's not a very big fan, I've got bigger ones that I use for camping, but this fan was able to cool me down even in a big 6-person tent. The run times are also very decent. The ultra low mode is fine for just me alone, and it's enough to last me not just one weekend of camping, but even a few more days after that, as long as I use the sleep timer to conserve the battery every night. The fan is also made of high-grade plastic and high-grade metal and feels so much better than other camping fans out there. As for cons, I found the charging time to be very long, and this is the camping fan I have that takes the longest to charge. I also wish that the fan could be rotated downwards, but it doesn't have more than this 45-degree rotation. There is a small fix for this though. If you want to use this fan at a low angle, just remove the tripod legs, place the fan head on the ground with the buttons facing the ground, and then use the handle as a stand, like so. By adjusting the handle, you can also adjust the angle of the fan a little bit too. There are also some other features this Claymore doesn't have, like lighting. There's no flashlight, no lantern lighting at all. This USB-C port at the back here is supposed to be a reversible port, so I think it might be able to charge your phones, but I don't have the wire for that. If I do find one and test this out, I'll put my test results either in the comments or description below. But of course, you might have noticed by now that the list of pros for this Claymore are way more than the list of cons, and I'll put them all up on the screen now. On top of that, the cons aren't really even that big. They do have quick fixes for them, and this is easily one of the best camping fans I've ever used. Is it the best on the market though, and how does it compare to other camping fans? Well, I've got just the answer for you in this video on the screen here, where I tested the Claymore against 6 other camping fans. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in that one.